Zohran Mamdani has been posting like a mother lately, which makes sense. The Democratic primary for the New York City mayoral elections is coming up. So since he is an actual credible threat to the deep state establishment candidate Cuomo, just a few days ago there was a coordinated attempt by both left and right-wing media, all the way up to Politico, by the way, to paint him as an anti-Semite who refused to condemn the Holocaust in like an official condemn the Holocaust vote. Not getting into I guess I don't really understand the logistics of New York City councilmen condemning the Holocaust via official vote. I guess I would just kind of take that as implied, you know? I wouldn't really ask them to do it officially, but then again, nowadays, maybe it's good to be sure. By the way, he literally voted for the resolution. He just didn't co-sign it. I mean, I knew it was a lie just from like the source of the information from the get-go, but yeah, it's just so... Dude, he's been posting, man.
7 days. Hello from the Upper West Side, my friends. Today marks 37 days until the election on June 24th. And usually this is the part of the video where I'd say, please canvass, please help us, please join our team. But today I'm gonna actually do something a little different. I'm gonna ask you to donate. Now, as you know, thanks to you, we maxed out. We can't actually receive any more of your donations to spend. I'm actually asking you to donate to another candidate running for mayor. Her name is Adrienne Adams. She's a speaker of the city council, and she is facing a critical matching funds deadline by the end of tomorrow. Now, you might be asking, I'm running for mayor, she's running for mayor, why would I be asking you to donate to her? Because we are all running together to defeat Andrew Cuomo, to defeat Eric Adams' second term.
The thing I really like about this is that it's not just performative symbolic humility. It's not just aura farming. He actually outright states why. I really appreciate that. That's very honest. Yeah, because if he was dishonest, he could say, well, I believe in the democratic process and everyone should get the opportunity to spread their message. But like, that's bullshit. You want to win the election, right? But instead, he's making a true point, which is money that goes towards her does pull from Cuomo's vote share. It is kind of like additive in the long run towards his chances. He's just outright stating it. It's very honest. It's very I mean, it's smart to even consider it, to be honest. Suit's too long? Nope. A suit jacket should just cover the buttocks on the back. Suit jackets are meant to be quite long. Sport jackets can be a bit shorter, but no, he looks good.
Which is what Andrew Cuomo is running for. And in order for us to be able to do so, we need to make sure that every campaign has the resources it needs to share that message with as many New Yorkers as possible. So I ask you, donate $10, $15, $20, $25, $50, $100, whatever you can, to Speaker Adams' campaign before tomorrow night at midnight, and help us build a New York City that will finally turn the page on this chapter of failed leadership and doesn't just exchange one disgraced executive for another.
Also like that he shits on Cuomo. You know, he's not doing the civility politics thing.
Votes are on Mamdani.
There is so much energy behind this race. God, I hope he wins.
Where the average bus speed is 8 miles an hour. We should not have a city where you walk faster when you're late to work than you would be moving on that same bus.
That's right.
And as Betsy has said, as Brad and I have been running for mayor, we're going around all across the 5 boroughs. There are some places where the best way to get there is by the bus.
Yep.
And I have waited at those bus stops. And I have opened up bus time on my app. And I have seen that the bus is coming in 10 minutes, knowing full well that in 5 minutes that bus may disappear from the app.
Yep.
And that's simply unacceptable.
Yes. Yes.
And I am running proudly with public transit at the heart of this campaign's message. From the very beginning of this campaign, I have said that we are going to make the slowest buses in the country fast and free.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing, man. Oh, yeah. There was some discourse over this one. He favors deregulation for small businesses, which is good policy not only in New York City, but also across America. We in a lot of respects, in American business, we do genuinely have overregulation, and a lot of it has to do with stuff like zoning and coding, not like we're not talking like, can you have cockroaches in your meat type regulation. We're talking like needless bureaucratic fluff where you need to hire a lawyer just to know how to establish a business in the city. And the older towns like New York City, right, they have it the worst because they have, you know, a lot of superfluous bullshit that's built up.
There's a lot of things that make New York City special. For me, it's the delis and bodegas. Habibi, could I get an egg and cheese on a roll with jalapeno?
One's the wine special coming up.
Small businesses employ nearly half of all New Yorkers in the private sector. They keep the city running, but the last 4 years have been hard. We've seen the dollar slice go extinct, storefront after storefront close, and had a mayor in Eric Adams who has ignored the struggles of small businesses. That's why, as mayor, I'm going to make it faster, easier, and cheaper for small businesses to get started and stay open. First, we're going to cut fines and fees for small businesses by 50%. Regulations are important, but small businesses have to navigate more than 6,000 of them, with far fewer resources than the big chains. That's why, as mayor, I'll appoint a mom and pop czar with the clear goal of making it easier to run a small business. $1,000 isn't a lot to our city government, but it can be make or break for a small business trying to get off the ground. Next, we're going to accelerate permits and applications. The mom and pop czar will coordinate with agencies to speed up turnaround times, cut red tape, and let New Yorkers start businesses sooner. Because you shouldn't have to fill out 24 forms and go through 7 agencies to start a barbershop. But most of all, we're putting our money where our mouth is by increasing funding for small business support programs with 500%. We're going to invest $20 million.
Sometimes I wonder if like the leftist messaging about how small businesses are still capitalism has gone a little bit too far, because I feel like a lot of people have forgotten that a city where you have a vibrant hub of small local businesses is objectively better in like every way than one where you have one Walmart that has forced everything else out of business and now everyone works at the Walmart and still has to go on food stamps. Like it is true that small businesses are still capitalism, right? Petit bourgeois, like we know, we get it, right? But like at the same time, I feel like the distinction has been kind of eradicated a little bit in people's minds where they forget like there's a huge difference, like a massive difference between those two. One of the reasons people like New York City is because you can walk around and see all these cool, weird small businesses and the bodegas and what have you. But like most American cities, nope. What's up with Americans using czar everywhere? A czar just means like a specially appointed leader of or like advisor on a subject.
$1 million in our Business Express service teams, which pair small businesses with a city case manager that helps them navigate permits and regulations, as well as connecting them with programs that provide them with financial and legal assistance. Right now, only 3% of businesses are using these programs. We want that number to skyrocket. The only thing more New York than an egg and cheese are the small businesses that make them. Together, we can not only protect them.
Here's what I don't think that running a small business makes you Hitler or anything like that. I think that a lot of small business, I guess I reject like the right framing of small business owner when the right will say like small business owners make America, and what they mean is a guy who owns a distribution chain of hot tubs that is like dominant across the Midwest, has 472 employees, and takes home 7.3 million in pay at the end of every year in addition to the stock options. And then, you know, they pretend that he's like a mom and pop store or something. And then on the other hand, you have lefties who act like an actual mom and pop store is like consequentially identical to if the city just had like one mega mart or something, which listen, I apologize once again for engaging in enlightened centrism. I'm just saying. Anyway, I saw some people being a little weird about this message of his, but it's good, you know. Yes, the federal definition of a small business in the United States of America, where it's like 500 employees or some shit, is insane. Yeah, 100%. But I don't think that's what he's referring to. He's, after all, going to be mayor. He doesn't have to abide by the national definition. He can, you know, he has his own.
But encourage new ones to make a home in our city.
God, he knows what he's doing. Even if he loses, I hope he sticks around. He's very young, but I do hope he wins. It's like he was made in a lab. Yeah, to make me happy. It's like he was made in a lab. Parentheses positive.
1997. Reese Witherspoon, Laura Dern, or Felicity Huffman?
I'm gonna go with Laura Dern just because I love Jurassic Park.
And you're gonna be correct. Let's go! Hi, I'm Ananiah. This is Gaydar. What does WLW mean?
Win, loss, win?
Okay. I like the sentiment. It means women loving women.
Also agree.
Yeah! On Gaydar, we're politically correct. I live. Which queer group is currently being erased from all federal government websites?
Trans people.
Yes, they are. you. Everyone in Trump's cabinet. You can't be here when I say that.
I'm just vehemently opposing their policies because they're disgusting.
You better get the SAT word in too. Which of these people is homophobic and they're trying to ban gay marriage in Michigan? And which of them is a gay icon?
Isn't this the guy who has the Elvis voice?
That's not Austin Butler.
Oh.
Okay, so who's the other one?
He's got to be trying to ban gay marriage.
Well, yes, with that middle part.
Is the right or the left?
The one.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's just this is all within the past few days. He's very active, man. This is populism. We need more of this. Yes, that is true. How long till the DNC machine shuts him down? Dude, they're literally, like, they literally ran a coordinated effort to accuse him of being anti-Semitic, like, 4 days ago. Did you see that NBC hit piece? The one where the reporter, the lady, straight up said, so you've protested against Netanyahu. How do you think American Jews living in New York City feel about you attacking their prime minister? It's like, what the oh my God, it's Nazi shit, you monster. What the hell? And that aired. They aired that. That wasn't live. That was a pre-recorded interview, and they aired that. They were like, yeah, that's fine. We'll just do the dual loyalty thing. We'll just say that Jews are like innately not primarily loyal to America when they're Americans, you know, whatever. Who cares? Anything foreigners can do to help them get elected, post like you've never posted before. All right, one more.
For so long, people have been told that politics is a choice between a party that wants to erase you from the face of the earth and another one that tells you to celebrate the crumbs that can't even feed your family. We are having a new politics in this city, one that is fighting for people.
UAW Region 9A represents nearly 20,000 workers in New York City. We were done with politicians just being politicians. We wanted someone real. Zoran stood out from the very beginning.
So last year, we went on a strike at Mount Sinai. It was really tough.
If the papal states were still a thing, would people still call the Pope the Christian's king? It's funny because when JFK was elected, people were worried that he would, as a Catholic, the first Catholic president, be deferential to the Pope. The difference, of course, is that when you are a Catholic, your religious obedience to the Pope is a component of your religious belief. It is literally like he's the vicar of God. Netanyahu is a politician. There is nothing in Jewish faith is generally quite anti-hierarchical, like in general. You know, those the rabbis, they love debating God. You know, they're very ornery. Netanyahu, there's absolutely nothing in like Jewish faith that aligns you with Netanyahu as a leader or even the leader of the state of Israel in any abstract sense. So to suggest that they're innately loyal because of their Jewishness is absolutely insane. I mean, frankly, I would also not act as though American Catholics are innately obedient to the Pope, because in practice, like, no, right? Like, people kind of live in their own lives, right? You have to be a pretty devout Catholic to be following, like, hanging on the word of the Pope, like every day or whatever. But historically, this is an accusation that's been invoked against Jewish people. The idea that they have like a group loyalty that extends beyond the nation that they're in, you know, which, I mean, I guess everyone's got like their family or whatever, but like the accusation against Jewish people goes beyond that, right? The dual loyalty accusation, which is why it's a very long-standing anti-Semitic accusation. So to see it invoked against Jewish people in like a, you know, this mayoral candidate's anti-Semitic for not believing it, insane.
But we had allies like Zoran that came to our picket line, and he really had our backs when we were fighting for affordable childcare and affordable housing.
Zoran showed up for us, and he not only showed up for us once, he showed up for us twice. That kind of solidarity is real, and
They really do just dress better in New York City, don't they?
Understands that fighting for housing rights and housing justice is a fight for our future.
We want to win this race. That's what we're going to
Not him necessarily. It's a little better when she did it.
do. And so in these 45 days, I ask you to remember what it is that brought you out here today when you are going out there to knock on those doors.
I lived in my rent-stabilized apartment for 34 years here in the Bronx. I'm a tenant, I'm a part of the community, I work in the community. These are my neighbors. We're being pushed out of our own city, and he's gonna actually bring us to a place where we can live with dignity and, you know, grow old here in this city.
Freeze the rent! Freeze the rent! Freeze the rent! Freeze the rent!
Hell yeah, man. Oh, we have a Cuomo ad. Is this an official Cuomo ad? Why is it from a 90K follower account?
It was the greatest health crisis in our history. And when New Yorkers were desperate for leadership, Andrew Cuomo delivered. He didn't just provide information.
Is it like this is his general account, but people have usually followed his like gubernatorial account?
question in those daily COVID briefings. He acted, building emergency hospitals and deploying first responders. And he provided hope that we'd pull through this together. We did. Now New Yorkers face a city unaffordable and streets that don't feel safe. And in a crisis, you want someone who's still.
We stand in solidarity with Israel today and every
Israel's
day.
anniversary. We had a great parade, the Israel Day Parade, and it was especially poignant today after all that Israel has been through since October 7th. We had families of hostages who were actually
great
in
production.
The parade. So it was very, very powerful. And New Yorkers came out, and New Yorkers voiced their support for Israel. We stand in solidarity. New York was one of the first states to stand up against BDS and stand with Israel. And
Jesus Christ, man. This is such un-American shit, dude. Yeah, he's literally bragging like, we suppressed people's right to boycott a foreign nation. We stand with that foreign nation. Yeah. It's impossible to stress enough how much this guy isn't actually running a campaign. He's genuinely not. Like, he's expecting to coast in on name recognition alone. What kind of horseshit is that? I have to buy Israeli goods. Were you there when Greg Abbott, governor of Texas, wrote a scathing public letter condemning a mayor of one of Texas's smaller towns because that mayor didn't want to spend some of their citizens' like tax revenue on Israel and instead wanted to spend it like on the city that the people live in? Shit's crazy, man. Is there literally any other example of campaigning on cucking to a different nation, not actually talking about your city or state? I don't know. America's in a very unique position here, to be honest. I don't really know. I think that it might be that America and maybe Americans at large just are in a unique place of not caring about anything, right? Like the elites don't care to pretend. American voters aren't given good enough information to care about what's happening. So as a consequence, we've degenerated into a kind of like propaganda slop where from the outside it looks like genuinely psychotic. Who knows? Apathy won. Hold on. The Democratic mayoral primary isn't for another 30-something days, okay? Apathy might not win. We might get the good outcome. He might win. It's not impossible. It's not likely. I'm not going to lie to you, but it's not impossible. If you live in New York City and you don't vote for him in the Democratic primary, genuinely, I'm upset with you. Normally, I'm a little bit more, I don't know, I wouldn't say easygoing. You know, I'm a little bit more permissive with stuff like this, but in this one, I actually really like this guy, okay? It's not a lesser evil vote.